Okay, so this topic is really good because this is going to get into something that I've been meaning to make a video about anyway, so I'm glad that you prompted this video. Carrie in the group, in the Facebook group, says, well, I asked, what's the hardest part about rebuilding yourself after the narcissist? And she says, to stop apologizing when you know it really isn't your fault. Okay, so here's the deal. The reason the narcissist has you apologizing and shit and feeling bad about everything is because they are operating from their wounded child within to such a degree that when they join forces with you, they put you in a position of like a mother position where you are responsible for them and you're responsible for their emotions, and you have to feel bad every time something goes wrong for them, or every time they feel bad you need to feel bad because y'all are connected and shit like that, and they have you in that guilt thing, that cycle of guilt, and to keep you there so that you're not feeling guilty all the time to the point where you decide to leave, they'll distract you with shiny stuff, and they'll distract you with dreams and aspirations and goals that the two of y'all have together. And what they really do is they just they see what your goals are, and they say, oh, okay, we can work with that. And they'll convince you that you can achieve that goal through them, and that if you stick around and just be patient, you'll get what you want. So they put that in front of you to distract you from how guilty they're making you feel by plopping their wounded child in your lap and saying, okay, you deal with this, because that's where they're operating from. They don't have, the only sense of self they have is that wounded kid. They don't really grow up. And you're dealing with a big child who is hurting so bad from something that went wrong in their childhood that they pull all the levers from that kid's perspective. So that's why when you're dealing with a narcissist who's 30, 40, 50 years old, you're dealing with somebody who is extremely self-centered and who is building the world around them because they're trying to make up for how bad the kid feels on the inside, so that everything's about them now, and that's supposed to make them feel better. So when you do something that goes against the kid wanting everything to be about them, you're supposed to feel guilty about it because you're not putting the kid's needs first, their inner child. So they're making you, so that's you're feeling bad about it because you feel like you're taking care of a child, because you are. You are essentially. You're having to nurture. You've been put in a position of head nurturer for their wounded inner child that has not had any resolution yet from whatever happened in 1985 or some shit. So you're dealing with it, with whatever their parents screwed up. Unfortunately, that's the hardest part of being somebody's partner, being somebody's life partner, is that whatever their parents screwed up, you're dealing with it now. It's now your problem, because they haven't made amends. And the parent's not going to admit that they did anything wrong, and the kid's not going to admit that they're that upset. Period. And if the kid's 30 or 40 or 50, they're still going to admit that they're not that upset because they don't want to look weak. And the parent isn't going to admit that they've done wrong because, damn it, they did their best. Well, great, so has everyone else, but you still screwed up. Because I got to argue with him every day and then go to bed with him every night. So I have to deal with that now. Thanks. So, to stop apologizing when you know it's really not your fault. Yeah, they have the guilt thing hanging over your head because, like I say, you're responsible for their feelings. And women especially are bad about the apologizing thing to start with. Have you noticed how, I know all of us have, so it's kind of a rhetorical question, but have you noticed how when you're in the store, or any time that you and another woman are about to cross paths, y'all already know what I'm about to say, don't you? You already know. When the two of y'all are about to cross paths, whether you've seen each other 10,000 times or never before, both of you, once you get to a certain point where you're getting closer, you already know, don't you? You know what's coming. When you both get to a certain point, you both have to ferociously apologize about being in the other one's way, and you both break your necks getting out of each other's way. That has to stop. I'm done with that. I'm done watching people do that. that's atrocious, and it's time to stop. Stop apologizing. You can train yourself. If you want to stop apologizing for shit that you know isn't your fault, you can train yourself to stop apologizing with little shit first. And it can be things like that. Instead of apologizing, just let the other person say or do what they're going to do. And then in your mind, just say, it's okay. It's okay that they've done that. It's okay that they've apologized. It's okay that they didn't apologize. It's okay that they moved out of my way. It's okay that they didn't move out of my way. You know, because women have been taught that as long as we put ourselves on the very bottom and that everybody else is doing okay, you know, because we put them first, that we'll be okay. And that's not how it works. That system has worked for other people, but it's not working for us. So we're going to drop that now. And from now on, we're going to say, you know what? It's all right. I'm fine either way. I'm fine either way. Just like I said with the manifesting stuff. Wouldn't it be cool if ... happened? But it doesn't have to. It'd be cool, but it doesn't have to. So, you know, if something happens and you start thinking to yourself, I gotta apologize, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Stop yourself and say, you know what, no, it's fine. The world isn't coming to an end just because one thing has happened. I'm just gonna keep moving. And you don't have to apologize for every little thing, especially shit that's not your fault. And when you start with the little stuff, catch yourself in public. You'll catch yourself. Stop yourself in public if something's going on. You just kind of say, no, it's fine. You know, it's fine. In fact, you can even practice telling the other person who is also ferociously apologizing that they haven't done anything wrong. Because people will do that. Women will start crying and they'll apologize for crying, you know, when their nervous system is trying desperately to re-regulate, recalibrate, and they'll cry because someone has died or whatever. Or they've just had enough of life and they start crying like 2 tears and they're just like apologizing like with their life. And I'm just like, no, stop apologizing. It's fine. You haven't done anything wrong. Relax. And you can practice doing it with other people like that. So that way when you start catching yourself trying to apologize, you can say, no, you haven't done anything wrong. It's fine. Relax. And you can just do that and just see where that takes you, you know. Because yeah, they have you hooked to where, you know, damn it, you better be sorry, you know, and then once it's all over with and it's all behind you and you're thinking about it later and you're like, damn, so you know deep down there is a part of you that knows that that's screwed up and you shouldn't have to apologize for shit. But that's a big one, yeah. I'm probably gonna keep this video short because there's a lot of stuff I've said that I've said in other videos, so I try not to repeat myself too much, but. That's big. But I would say practice it. Just like you practice anything else, you know, if you want to retrain your brain, all you're doing is retraining the fucking neural pathways and shit so that you learn new patterns. You can teach yourself new patterns all the time. You just gotta keep on it. You gotta keep on top of it. If you gotta write it down and paste it on the fucking wall where you can see it, stop apologizing. Then do that. Whatever you gotta do, set a reminder on your phone. Watch a movie that has something like that as the moral of the story or something like that. Whatever you want to do to implant it in your brain that you are not at fault. You're just not. It's going to feel selfish because, like I say, women in general are taught that anything where we take care of ourselves or put ourselves first in any way is selfish, and that's hurtful to the people who need us. And it's actually not. You have to put yourself first in order to be your best so that you can take care of everyone else that you're responsible for, which is pretty much fucking everybody. So, you know, you have to put yourself first because if you're not at your best, then you can't be your best for them. And you not only can't take care of them, but can't set a good example for them either because you have to do that as well. We wear a lot of hats, don't we? So, you've got to take care of yourself. You've got to put yourself first. If you need a fucking timeout, take your damn time out. Go sit in the car if you have to. Take your damn time out. And just, you know, come back to center. Go sit in the car. Play some, if you have Bluetooth on your phone, hook up your Bluetooth, get on YouTube and find 528 hertz and play that on your radio and just turn it up so you can hear it real good. And just listen to that and just let it permeate your body. Let it permeate your cells. And just soak it in, and you sit there for 10-15 minutes if you have to, and you just take your time out and you soak in the vibrations, and let it just calm your nervous system down, and you will calm down, and you'll come back to center, and you regroup, and you'll be all right, and you can go back to what you were doing. You know what I mean? So shit like that. So taking care of yourself, it is important, because you have to be in your right mind if you're going to do all the jobs you have to do, and we have many, and there's no, you can't afford to go crazy and to quit doing it, because everybody needs us. Children need us, men need us, you know, everybody fucking needs us, and society would just fall apart if we just quit doing like one thing. So we can't. We have to be on our A game all the time. And but when you're taking care of yourself, when you're doing your bubble bath, when you're doing your 528 hertz, when you're, you know, meditating, when you're sleeping, that you're also on your A game then too, because you're doing something that's helping you. You're doing something positive that's good for you. So you're never lazy. You're never having a lazy moment. You want to spend the day watching TV, you've done all your other shit, you just want to, or you just need a break, spend 3 hours watching fucking Netflix or whatever, I don't care, do it. You need time where your brain just gets out of, you know, anxious mode for a second, and just like goes into autopilot or whatever, and just like unplugs, so that it's not having to problem solve. You know, you need time, especially for women, because we run on all cylinders all the time, just doing this. And you've got to have pockets of time throughout the day where you're not running yourself into the ground. You've got to, because you're going to kill somebody if you don't. And that's why we act crazy, because we don't take breaks. And then you have women talking about, I just, you know, I'm about to scream because, like, I can't get a fucking break. Tell everybody to shut the fuck up for 5 minutes, and you're going to go do something and take a fucking break. And you get out of there. If you have to leave the house and walk down the street and go to the park and sit in the shade of a tree and just to be alone, if you've got to do it and run out of the house when nobody knows where the hell you are, then do that. I don't care. Tell them to shut up for 5 minutes. If you go lock the kids in their room, and you go lock yourself in your room and just put your headphones on and just listen to something for 10 minutes, you know what happens? Let them, if they want to get in there and scream, break their toys, you know what? Because you gotta, you just, however you need to do it, you know what to expect in your own household. But I mean, you just have to. So when it comes to taking care of yourself and things like that, it's not selfish. You've just got to do it. You've been taught that it's selfish, because as long as you think you're being selfish, anytime you do something good for yourself, it benefits somebody else. Somebody else is benefiting from that. So, because you're constantly in slave mode. So as long as you're doing that, and you're constantly, you know, in the, you know, baby, what can I do for you mode, somebody else is benefiting from that. You're not, because you're going to lose your shit. So you're not guilty of anything. If you're just trying to get through the day. So yeah, and the apologizing shit is such a huge thing. So I hope that clears that up, because you're right. That's absolutely right. It really is. And especially with the narcissist, you know, like I say, because they're operating from that wounded inner child to such an extent. They're going to have you thinking that you're the mommy that is, and they'll also have you thinking that you're the mommy who is abandoning that child. You know, if you want to go off and do your own thing, if you want to break up with them, if you want to, you know, have time to yourself, if you want whatever, they're going to have you thinking that you are abandoning an innocent child that, you know, needs attention and blah, blah. And you know what? This is the real, you know, this is the kicker. You actually are. You are abandoning a kid, because that's who's operating in there. That's who's doing everything. That's who's making the decisions in there. It's a 6-year-old with real bad hurt feelings who's pulling all the levers like this. That's who you're dealing with. So you're right. You are abandoning a child. That they're making you feel that way, and that's exactly what you're doing. But you know what? You're going to have to, because it's a big 40-year-old child. It's a big 40-year-old, 200-pound child with a deep voice that has his own paycheck. And he's going to have to figure it out. He's going to have to figure it out. And period. That's it. That's it. That's it. So you can't hold yourself accountable every time somebody wants to keep you around.
There's been a lot of men, there's been plenty of men, narcissistic or not, who wanted to keep my ass around. And I said, you know what? I got to get away from this. I just don't. This is not enriching my life. I have to go. This doesn't feel good. I'm miserable. I want my body back. I'm going. Bye. And that's it. That is it. Period. So you just gotta do it. Because they do it. You think they feel bad when they say, oh, well, this isn't working for me, bye, bitch. And you're standing there crying on the side of the road where they dropped you off. They go, they don't feel bad about that shit. Hell. So, they don't feel bad when they kill us when we don't give them our phone number. So, I mean, so just keep that in mind, you know, if that helps motivate you. Just remember that. But, yeah, that's a very good point. A very good point. So thanks for bringing that up. I hope that puts it in perspective for y'all and brings you some clarity. And I hope that helps out. So we're going to keep this going. And we're getting through the questions. All of them are really good. And I might be getting towards the end here. So we'll see what happens. But this is fantastic input. So this is a really good group. If you want to join my group, like I say, it's How to Stop Attracting Narcissists for Women Only on Facebook. If you can't find it there, you should be able to, but if you can't, you can go to my website and it's on there. And my link is everywhere, MirandaWhiteLifeCoach.com. So anyway, yeah, that's it. So thanks for the input. That was good. Thank you.